Hey guys, Alex here with another episode of Momentum Charting. Today we are going to be discussing the chart of AMD. Before we do that, just quickly, if you do me a quick favor, just hit the like, hit the subscribe, hit the bell notification. Doing those lets YouTube know that you enjoy the content and gives other people a chance to see it as well. So with that out of the way, let's go ahead and dive in here. AMD, what are we seeing? I'd like to start with the daily time frame, get a broad picture of what we're seeing. Looks to me like right now there are at least one, potentially three very key longer term trend lines in place. One I've got set here from the lows in May 19th and a touch point here on June 21st. This looks like a key zone here, and then there's another potential trend line here utilizing that same touch point. So both of these are potential trend lines. This one to me looks pretty strong. I'd say this is more of the key trend line than this one, but both are potentially valid. So anyway, price is looks like more than a month away from even the closest one. So we'll just put those on the back burner for now and deal with, well, if we zoom in here quickly to the 1 hour, we can see that the 1 hour short-term upward moving trend line that I had set, the diagonal, has been broken. We'll go ahead and erase that. That is no longer valid. So that's off the table. And then just back here to the daily time frame, it is very clear that the next most important trend line, I would say in AMD right now, is this zone of resistance somewhere in this area between 97 maybe 99, this area up here. So are we just going to zoom up and hit it from here? Probably, and break it from here, should I say rather. Probably not. Probably not. I think we're going to need a little bit more time in this zone here. Maybe coming back up to this resistance here, coming back down for a little bit. But we'll see. We'll see how it goes. Potentially something like this, and then maybe first, second week of August, start making our way up and potentially head for a breakout of this upward trend line, which has been good 6-7 months in play now since early January. So that's what I'm looking at right now, basically on AMD. Overall, pretty decent looking chart. The really nice thing that we did have on AMD was that we broke out of this diagonal downward resistance, which is always one of my favorite plays. You can see up here we had one failed attempt, and then the second attempt. Remember what the methodology I use. It's usually between 1 and 3 it takes for these breakouts to occur. So this one on AMD, after giving it ample time to show that this was actually our downsloping trend line, had one failed attempt, and then on the second one it actually broke out and started going up. So this was a pretty nice consolidation from early January. So again, 6-7 months of consolidation and breaking out. So there's definitely a chance for AMD right now to continue up and break out of this upper resistance that's been in place since 2020, late 2020. So that's kind of what I'm looking at on AMD right now. Any break below trend line A or trend line B, you know, something, a move down into these areas would definitely give me cause for concern, because you've got this this support here right now at right about 88.60. So breaking down through 3 of those trend lines to me would be indicative of some continued bearish behavior, but we are a long ways away from that right now. I'm focusing more on potentially breaking the upper resistance again at around the 97.5 areas. So we just take a look here quickly at the momentum, and nothing bad at all going on right now. It looks like we are coming down here and testing this lower support line here, and it looks basically like we have just headed for a momentum reset, and it's quite possible just in this zone here, if we chop sideways until we break this down sloping resistance, that this leads to a lot of choppy behavior, and I really do not believe that we have a good opportunity to break this resistance here, the upper resistance, until we can at least surpass this down sloping trend line on the momentum and hold above this support here, but preferably above the zero line here, and we start another pattern of upward momentum just like we had here in middle of June that led us to this nice gain here. I'll show you that from June 16th all the way up to July 1st. You can just see it on this chart here, this really nice run up from about 81 all the way to 94. So this is kind of the scenario that I'm going to be looking at in order to give us enough momentum and price movement to the upside to bust through this solid upper resistance in the near-term future. Hopefully sometime within the next couple months is going to be what I'm targeting, but again, we don't know exactly when it's going to happen, but we just have to keep paying attention. It could come up here within the next trading week. We just don't know. If that happens, as always, what we are going to be looking for is some confirmation of some structure that would allow us to have a nice continued breakout and trend line to follow on AMD. So that's basically everything I needed to say on AMD. Just continue to watch here, be patient. Looks like we may have some ways to go, but no real reason to get involved at this exact juncture. We do need some things to happen. At an absolute minimum, I'd really like to see this downward sloping momentum line break to the upside. It looks like maybe next 10, 11 trading days, something like that could happen. So I am anticipating some sideways chop in this zone for the next week and change. And at that point, we're getting very close to this diagonal trend line. So we may be able to bounce off that, right? And then start moving higher, potentially breaking out from there. So that's it, guys. That's everything. Thank you so much for joining me in this video. Stay tuned. I've got a couple more on the way today and at least one more tomorrow that I'm going to do. So yeah, thanks again, and I will see everyone again soon. Thank you so much. Bye for now.